Yeah! What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the Killjoy Jake YouTube channel. I'm your host, as always, Anthony, and today we're talking a bunch of stuff. I don't even know, man. We're gonna just talk about stuff. Are we gonna talk about horror movies? Maybe. maybe for once, I just won't talk about movies at all. Get wrecked. I'm kidding. We're going to talk about movies. It's going to be a very good time. What is up, everybody? Welcome. Tori's already hanging out with us real early. What's up, Tori? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for being a Killjoy cult member. I appreciate you. Thank you. RJ's with us tonight, too. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Let's go. Long weekend, baby. Let's get it going, man. We'll talk some Scream 7 and some John Wick 5. It's going to be a good time. I'm hyped, RJ. Ilham's with us, too. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Ilham. Happy birthday to you. There, I whipped out the singing voice. It's not very good, but I tried for you. Happy 17th birthday. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you get to enjoy some good movies on this day, too. Watch some fun movies. Watch your favorite horror films and scare your friends. I don't know. Do something fun. Midnight TV's here with us, too. What's up, Midnight TV? How's it going? Welcome. Extron Voltron. What's up, Extron? How's it going? I'm fantastic, man. I'm doing great. It's Friday, right? It's Friday. It is Friday. I love it, man. Tree 95. There's 95 of them? Sick, man. I love your shoes, too. I need a real chase scene with a sinister cat and mouse phone call from Ghostface. Well, Scream 7 should be on the way, my friend. Should be. Tori's saying hello. What's up? Tid Morgan is here. Hope you're good. I'm fantastic. I hope you're doing good, Tid. Critical Overlord is with us, too. Insidious 6 with Mandy Moore. Okay. Critical Overlord, that all depends on if if Insidious 5 is good or not, though, which we're all hearing things that has old Jake very concerned. I hope it's good. I hope it kicks ass, man. I love that franchise so much. Ugh. A few more hellos out there. We got Sarah Campbell with us tonight. What's up, Sarah? Sarah's the best. If you don't know Sarah, say hello to Sarah. She's amazing. Anything. Terrifier 3 and the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Let's go, baby. Did a little video on that earlier this week. Very fun video. Highly recommend it. If you know nothing about the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, I did got you up to speed for what you need to know for the movie, I think. Carl's here. You're living a horror movie. The chat is coming from inside your house. Oh, shit. My extended family is here for the weekend. What's up, Carl? I apologize for swearing in front of Evelyn, possibly, but what is up? How's it going? Welcome. Hope you guys have a nice dinner. I wish I could join you, but thanks for being here. Sammy Verse is here. What's up? How's it going? That sounded scary is saying, hey, fam, listening while working. Nice. Very nice. Got some wonderful people in the chat here. Riley Harrison, sup, Jake, how's it going? I'm going, all right. I'm fucking going. But who's doing even better than me, my wonderful guest tonight? We have Anthony, the child of the corn here. What's going on, man? How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Thank you again for having me. I appreciate it. Want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Sarah, Mayanne, Kyle, just a couple people I know.
Heck yeah, man. Got some wonderful people with us tonight. It's going to be a good conversation, I think. Going to have fun. Talk about some shit. What are you the most excited for, Anthony? I'm curious.
So I was just telling you kind of backstage or whatever. I mean, we were planning on doing actually a Batman stream tonight. We had to do a little bit of rescheduling, but I am excited for the Flash movie. I have been seeing the trailers for the Boogeyman movie, which I'm pretty intrigued with. I think my buddy Conrad sent me a thing and got like a 65 on Rotten Tomatoes so far, so that's not too bad. Other than that, I'm still, I was still on the coattails of the new Evil Dead Rise. Man,
yeah.
I can't even tell you how much I enjoyed that movie. Like,
dude,
literally, dude, like I told you, like you kind of were like, dude, you need to watch Evil Dead, like the franchise. And I was like, all right, I'm going to watch it. And so I would actually say it's probably my third favorite within the franchise.
Heck yeah, man.
Dude, I just loved all of the references in the movies. I don't know if like everybody got them and everything, but like you had the apartment building from Child's Play. The creature at the end reminded me of The Thing. You had the chainsaw that literally looked like it was from TCM. And if you really caught it, it had similar score elements to Hellraiser. I'm telling you, man, it was in there and it was very cool. I was like, dude, this movie it was done really well. I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, man. Evil Dead Rise, it's still up there for maybe my favorite horror film of the year. I had a blast with it. It's definitely up there in my franchise ranking. I think when I did my ranking, it was number 3 too, if I remember correctly. It's so good, dude. That whole franchise is so good. It's impossible to rank.
I watch Mike and Jay from We Watch the Movie a lot, and they were pretty much like, either way you wanted to rank it, that franchise is, it's fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a good ass time. And, I enjoyed the remake probably the best, a little nostalgia there, but I do enjoy, like, the second one, just all the stuff that's in that second one. It's crazy historic, man. Yeah.
Right, dude. Like every single one of them brings something to the table that maybe the other one doesn't too. And that's why that franchise is so special to me. It's like whatever you're feeling in a horror movie, you can get that from the Evil Dead franchise. Like if you want something campy, fun, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2, you want something scary, these latest 2 installments will fuck you up, man. And that original is like, it's also super scary. It has elements of maybe everything too. So I don't know, man. I love this whole franchise. I think it's great. And we're still getting good Evil Dead movies and hopefully more in the future, man. It's lots of good stuff though this year, but we have a lot of things coming up, and I put out a poll 15 minutes ago. You all, of course, are excited for Scream 7 the most, but I am very excited for Terrifier 3, Insidious 5, and John Wick 5 as well. Hyped for it. Good stuff. Lighting Ghost is throwing $5 out there too, saying, so I guess John Wick is not dead. Can't wait for 5. Anthony, I'm not spoiling this for you, am I?
Oh, dude, no. John Wick 4 was my favorite of the franchise. The theater experience was, by far just like one of the best I've had in a very long time. Literally, I thought it had and carried elements from different action franchises and eras and decades that it threw it all into one movie, and I loved it, man. Bill Skarsgård was awesome. I had no idea who Donnie Yen was. I looked up his stuff, and he's like the his blind enemy or whatever. Like, dude, it was such a good, like, oh man, I loved it. My girlfriend's like, oh, he can do all that and he's blind, and I'm just like, no, you just gotta love it. Like, you just gotta, you know what I mean? Like, it was just some good stuff, man. I love it.
He's Daredevil. He's basically just Daredevil. It's fine.
Exactly.
We got Daredevil in a John Wick movie. Am I complaining? No, come on. That's awesome. I can't agree more. I couldn't agree more, man. I like John Wick 4 blew my mind. I really loved it. There was a part of me that was like, man, I almost want this franchise to just go on forever. So I am kind of excited John Wick 5 is happening, but it makes me worried about the future. What do you think is going to happen in 5? Are they resurrecting John? Is he really dead?
So I thought I got spoiled and heard that there was going to be a John Wick 5. So I was expecting that he wasn't going to be in the next one, or there was going to be another one. So, with him dying at the end, I was just all like, oh man, I wonder what direction they'll go, possibly, even if they do go in opposite direction, maybe even with the young girl at the end or something like that, or even with Danny Yen. I'm not for sure. It'll be interesting to see what they do, but man, it's just I kind of want it to be Keanu's franchise though. Like, I don't know, like if he doesn't come back, it's just like, ugh.
Right, it wouldn't be the same even.
Yeah, it's just like, why just not like leave it where it's at? It'd be such a good franchise if you maybe just like left it with him, but I guess we'll see.
I'm still excited for like Ballerina and the Continental and stuff.
I have heard, yep.
But like at the same time, I'm kind of with you there about like this is so big because it's Keanu Reeves being a badass again. You know what I mean? We had a little bit of a break from Keanu for a bit. We got some good movies in like the thousands and the 90s from him, of course. Like classics. It's The Matrix, Constantine, an underrated one. There's more, but Bill and Ted. like the Bill and Ted movies are fun. But then he comes back with John Wick, and then now he's everywhere again, which is awesome. And I'm so happy for him, and I would love to see more of him moving into more of these movies if there's gonna be them. How can you call it John Wick 5 and Keanu's not in it? You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mission Impossible without maybe Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? It's just
right.
Yeah, and I'm still excited about that newest movie too. Like, it just I don't know. It'd be interesting. I mean, it was. I guess I didn't think they would do a Scream movie without Nev, but that one's a little different, I guess, technically, because like I don't know.
They're making it about Ghostface now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're making it about Ghostface and Sam and these new characters, and it works. It works. We told a great story with Sydney, and now we're telling even crazier stories moving into the future. So I'm okay with it. I would like to see Sydney back though. Sorry, that was you mentioned Scream, Anthony, and then I just go off. You know.
Oh no, I think all of us want her, like arc to be kind of like ended correctly. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Right. Lighting Ghost, thank you so much for the $5 though. I'm hyped for whatever John Wick 5 is going to be. Prequel, sequel, somewhere in the middle. I don't know, but I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
You go. Yeah, prequel would be dope. There you go.
Could be a prequel too. You know, Lighting Ghost, thank you for the $5. What do you think about that? John Wick 5, a prequel, like what before the events of the first 4 movies, like while he was still working for the table.
Yeah, and maybe his relationship with his wife, or the lady that he left the whole thing for and everything. Yeah, it could be a good storyline. Yeah.
That could be. I would be okay with that, like a whole new set of movies about before the events of the John. Yeah, I'd be. I don't know. That'd be fun. I think that would be kind of sick. Sarah Campbell is with us tonight. Sarah, you're the absolute best. Seriously, we all love you here. Thank you so much for the support. Saying I would kill a man for a sequel to Constantine. Now, to my knowledge, Anthony, this is happening. This is in development. Has been. They're trying to make this happen. What do you think about that?
That's what I've heard. Also, yes. I loved the first Constantine movie. I thought it was good. I thought it was very dark when it needed to be, but yet I just thought it was a great movie. Shia LaBeouf, that was kind of like when he was big at the time and stuff. And yeah, like that's pure Keanu right there, man. That's when he was at his best, man. So yeah, I dug that movie a lot.
It's underrated, man. I don't know why that never. I almost wish that had become a franchise earlier, but I'm excited to see more come from it moving into the future. It's a really slick movie, It's got some. I don't know. It's just got some fun shit going on in it, and I'd love to see more of that in another movie. I agree, Sarah. I would also kill a man for a sequel. So I'm excited to finally get that. It's gonna be a good time. Sarah, thank you so much for the support. We appreciate you as always. May Ann has been a member for 2 months, by the way, saying, love this live. You and Anthony make a great team. Well, thank you so much.
May is very nice. Yeah, thank you, May Ann. Appreciate it.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, Anthony, we got it. We have to tackle the subject because it's big. It's controversial. People are freaking out in the streets, taking off their clothes and shit because of this. Scream 7. What do you think's going on behind the scenes? What do you think's happening with this one?
See, now, okay, Well, I've told you exactly what I kind of, was hoping that they would do. It's like, okay, you guys had talked like, would they stay in New York? Possibly. I don't think they'll do that, but they could. I don't know what it is about like a snowy cabin setting. I don't know what that storyline would be. Maybe Nev is like with her family at a cabin resort, or maybe by themselves or something like that. Somebody stalking them, or just a Christmas, in Woodsboro. And I know it's no snow or anything like that, but just like, I don't know, something different like that would be kind of cool. But, I don't know, if Jenna's going to come back or if she's not. I feel like I'm kind of just like waiting for a Scream film that's like pretty dark. Like, do you think there could be a Scream film without the campiness of like the original and kind of the others? Or do you think they'll ever get to that point? Or like, maybe not with this next installment, I don't think, but maybe, I don't know. What do you think?
I think they should. I love how franchises can evolve, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. I think that Scream has done the campy sequel already. We got Scream 2 and 3, which are very campy films, but they're very fun. And I liked them. I like them for what they are. But now it's time to explore new avenues, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I think we have so much going on in this franchise. And it's time to kind of clean the slate a little bit, as awful as this sounds. I think there's many things I love about Scream 6. I just watched it again before this stream. But the biggest thing to me about it is like the mystery element is nearly gone. Because there's so many characters, and like I love them. Don't get me wrong, but I think Scream 7's got to be kind of a bummer. I think we got to kill at least 2 of these characters if we're ever going to have a strong mystery element again. And I hear people saying, it's not possible or anymore, to shock people with a Ghostface reveal. But dude, they did it in entry number 4 and 5 for me. Like I was blown the fuck away by some of the reveals in both of those movies. Jill and Amber both got me big time. So I don't think the mystery of Scream is dead, and I think they can make it even darker with this next installment. I thought that's what Scream 6 was going to be, in all fairness. It was darker, but not as dark as I thought it would be. You know, it's almost like first 2 acts were super dark, and then the third one was like, okay, we're back to Scream. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, and I don't fault them for that. You know, I think they were maybe trying to resemble the second, film a little bit, which is totally fine and totally cool. It's just like when you got things like, Chad not dying, it's like, dude, how many times can this dude get stabbed? And you know what I mean? Like, it's just like those little kind of like things that it's just, it was a little Dawson Creeky in the middle, but like, I'm just waiting for them to have like a pretty serious kind of not like hugely dark tone film, but just like kind of more serious. Like 4 is actually like grown on me. I feel like 4 actually was pretty serious. Like,
yeah,
no, it is kind of crazy how like more like darker toned and serious that one actually is compared to like some of these newer ones. Even though I love 5 and 6, 6 was fun. 6 was a good time in the theaters, and like it's still good. But compared to the original, I just don't know. Like I felt like they were talking about doing a dark movie, and they did, but I just like, I wonder if they're ever really going to do that serious one. Like I don't know.
But like a seriously dark. Yeah, like
and
just
not
really...
like on a Terrifier level or anything like that, but just more of like just that sleek dark slasher, almost kind of like a Giallo or something, kind of like, you know what I mean? Just cool. Yeah.
I think that Ghostface is commonly seen as like one of the sillier slasher villains, and I think that's kind of a shame because I think he's actually one of the scarier ones. And the reason that's associated with Ghostface is because these movies are a little campier and sillier, and that's okay. Movies can be that, but I think Ghostface has potential, man. Like I think these next couple of movies could show us the darkest sides of Ghostface, some of the darkest killers we've ever gotten in this franchise. It all depends on what they do with it, but I just have always thought the idea of putting on this robe and costume and stabbing someone to death is just so terrifying, and multiple people have done it before. It's not just like any other slasher, it's like this is in this universe, this is like something that people see as like a movie villain, but some people take it very seriously, so much so to the point that they go and kill their friends, try to make their own movies. And there's so much potential there that I feel like is untapped. Like in Scream 6, we finally got a little closer towards that. We had like during the news broadcast and all that, you hear the reporters saying like, I got my Ghostface mask, the popular character from the Stab franchise. But that's not where it came from. It came from Billy Loomis and Stu Macher. That's where it originates from, but that's not where the world sees it as. It's almost like another character in Scream 6 that I love. Like the world is kind of against them in a lot of ways because they're thinking that about the situation. And I would love to see that expanded upon, I guess, is my point.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The first one had such a good balance between the two. Serious, but yet campy tone. Like it was, yeah. Like you were sitting on the edge of your seat the whole time, and then you had like, I guess you kind of need that because you kind of need to have that like, oh, now I can sit back and not be on the edge of my seat, but then I am back on the edge of my seat. Like, yeah, it was a real good balance in the first film, definitely.
Absolutely. And, it, like you said, it has those campy moments, but it has those scary moments, too. Yep. One moment, you're watching Dewey licking his ice cream cone in front of the chief, which is ridiculous and funny. But then, Billy and Stu stabbing each other like, oh, you went too deep. Like, that's terrifying, man. That whole sequence is...
seen anything like that. Yeah, exactly.
Right, it's scary, man. Sarah is putting Anthony's the link to Anthony's channel in the chat, by the way. Go subscribe.
Sarah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Go make that happen. Anthony's got a great channel. We love him. Thanks for being here again, man. Appreciate you. And also, Carrie has been a member for 13 months. Lucky number 13, Carrie. Nice. Very nice. Saying 13 months. Woohoo! Proud Killjoyer for life. Love it. Love it, Carrie. I love the energy. I love everything you bring to streams. So thanks for being here tonight. And thank you for 13 months of your time. I appreciate you so much.
Amen. Carrie's good stuff, no doubt.
Carrie is good stuff. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of you in the chat tonight. Ilham is throwing $2 in there on her birthday. Ilham. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that support. I appreciate that. I should be giving you money. It's your birthday. Jeez. Thanks for being here, though. I really appreciate that. In Scream 7, you want to hear Jasmine sing. You want to hear Jasmine sing. I dig it. Anthony, is there anything you want to hear Jasmine sing?
Jasmine. What?
Mindy.
Oh, okay. Want to hear her sing. And that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering, I'm really wondering what the storyline is going to be for kind of her and Chad, and just, do you really think Jenna's gonna come back? I'm just asking. Like,
dude, it's a great question, man. It
yeah,
really is.
Man, I think so much depends on her coming back, like which direction the whole movie goes. To be honest, I think Sam's obviously gonna stay in there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just no way. I think they're going to wrap up her arc also, but man, it's hard to say. Man, I really don't know.
Rolling air raid vehicle's a pretty good choice. Little Mindy doing some Limp Bizkit mid-movie.
Oh man, you already know how much I love Limp Bizkit, man. I love that band, dude, no doubt.
Hell yeah,
no
man.
doubt.
Good shit, man. Mindy could sing Red Right Hand.
That would be perfect. There you go. Right.
Perfect.
There you go. Yeah.
Ilum, we got you covered. Thank you so much again for the super chat. We appreciate you. Thank you. By the way, hello to Sean. Hello to Sean from Zom Leader Studios. Welcome. Tree95 has given us a crazy idea too. Well, we got to get to the Jenna Ortega talk though. We got to talk about this, man. We do. But a Ghostface cult, real quick. Want to throw that at you. What do you think about that for the next movie?
Oh, insanely awesome. Insane. I mean, like, dude, when 6 started, I thought that's where we were going. I was like, oh shoot, here they're going for it. This is gonna be a cult. Like, I'm digging it. And I still, again, like you said, first 2/3 of that movie were just solid. I actually didn't, the ending was a little out there, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible or anything. But like, the thing I sometimes with these movies, like, people just don't know how to use like firearms. So then you like, it just like, I don't know, it gets like weird with the weapon use and stuff. But
when they're running at each other with the guns at the end, it's ridiculous.
It is kind of ridiculous. But no, I would love that. Like, I've never. Everybody's like, oh, you need to watch the show. I think you probably know what I'm talking about. The Following, is that what it was called?
I've heard of this.
I guess they say that it's pretty much kind of what Kevin Williamson had wrote up for the 3rd film or something. But oh, dude, the cult aspect would be awesome. And I heard a lot of people saying that maybe we need a Ghostface reveal of somebody that isn't in the movie up until the reveal, which would be pretty cool. Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. Like, just someone out of nowhere coming up. Does that? So, do you think that's a shock? Like, or do you see that as like a sucker punch? I'm curious how you feel about that.
I think it's something that we haven't really seen. So it's like, because like, just like you had mentioned earlier, like, what more can they really do to kind of surprise us? Because it's almost like we already kind of know like what to look for throughout the film. I knew one of the killers. Like, I knew Ethan, right? The son. Yeah. I just figured, I was like, oh, this kid's coming in. I was like, he looks like a well-built dude. Like, he's probably going to be like, I thought he was the one, in Courtney Cox's apartment. I was like, it's got to be him. But and then even that reveal was not bad with his sister Quinn. Like, I actually thought it was kind of cool. Pulled the Scream 3, Roman, fake death kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then when, the father explains it, like, how does he go over there and switch the body before, everybody comes in? But it's, it's fine. It could have been way worse. So, but yeah, back to the original question, cult thing aspect would be really cool. Very cool.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And it would be fun to see them united for like something we haven't seen yet on screen, like for a reason that has yet to be like shown to us as a motive. We had a kind of a bit of a repeat motive in Scream 6, but it was, there was more to it than just being Mrs. Loomis again. So I appreciated that, but it's still parallel. You know what I mean? It's still like, okay, well, this is very Scream 2 to me, but I would be very excited to see something that's completely like out of nowhere, like out of left field, just coming at us, a new reason to want to kill these characters. Do you think they can find that in entry number 7?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The cult aspect would be pretty good, and I guess it would have to center around them, basing their belief off their leader or whoever that would be, possibly Stu, I don't know, or like, what I mean? Like, it would all kind of depend. But like you said, I thought the reveal was good, and the reasoning behind everything, with, Richie and everything. I actually, and they're showing like his home movies and stuff in the background. I was like, yeah, man, this is pretty cool, man. Like, this is cool. Like, so yeah, I don't, are they dishing out the writing rights to somebody else, or is it still going to be?
Great question. Great, dude. Like, nothing. We've got nothing about the movie, and I almost thought we'd get like an announcement like relatively soon, you know, over the summer. It'd be like, okay, it's coming. You know, we don't know who's doing it yet, but just the announcement, the simple announcement that it's happening. We don't even have that yet. You know, it's kind of crazy.
I did see Mike from We Watched the Movie had the writer on, or one of the writers, and he was talking about, he said, I thought he had mentioned that he had a thing, you know, kind of planned out or possibly even written, but couldn't speak on it. And then I was like, okay, well, now is this all just basing off whether Jenna comes back or not? Like, I just, yeah.
And speaking of that, will Jenna come back? Well, let's talk about that in a second. Lighting Ghost is throwing $5 at us. Lighting Ghost, again, we appreciate you so much. Thank you. Saying, I think Jenna will come back. She loves this franchise, and she's a big horror fan. Anthony, what do you think about this? Will Jenna Ortega come back? She's a rising star. She has a lot of different projects she's attached to, and she's super busy the rest of the year. Is Jenna coming back for Scream 7, do you think?
I haven't seen very many interviews with her, but the ones that I have seen, she seems pretty down to earth, seems pretty like, you know, like I'm the biggest thing since sliced bread. Does not seem like her aura, like at all. Like she, to me, I feel like she would appreciate what the franchise has done for her. She's still young. She still has all the time in the world to do other stuff. So maybe if they just did this, you know, last little trilogy, you know, and she finished out, it would kind of, you know, it would make sense. And yeah, I mean, I would see her coming back, but you know, I don't know. Maybe the media is overblowing it with like the whole, you know, what other, you know, projects is she doing other than, you know, Beetlejuice now? Like, I'm not 100% sure, I guess.
So I know 100% sure she's doing like Beetlejuice. Yeah, Beetlejuice 2, which I believe they're filming now, if I'm correct. Or maybe wrapping up soon even. But later on in the fall, she's doing Wednesday season 2. I know she's booked for like another movie. I just can't remember specifically what off the top of my head. But she's busy, you know. She's got a lot of projects in the works. A lot of people have been talking about how she's like a big rising star, possibly becoming an A-lister sometime relatively soon. Does she jump ship, or does she keep doing these movies? I mean, like, my thoughts on it are like, you know, Courtney Cox has always been in these movies. She's in all 6 of them. She's a really big star. She was on Friends, which is like one of the biggest sitcoms ever. I don't know. I think that she would do it. I don't think that this movie's going to come out, you know, at the end of the year, or maybe not even next year. We're going to have a bit of a wait, but I think she's going to be in it for sure. You know, she loves horror. She's a big fan, and she loves Scream too. I kind of agree with you, Anthony. She seems very down to earth. She picks projects she likes too. I don't think she does anything she doesn't like either. So I imagine she'll be back for 7. Will that be the last for the core 4 though? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and like you said, the time period in between when they actually decide to start, you know, and everything, I think is going to make a big, you know, be a big deciding factor. Yeah. So, and even if they do put a couple years in between, like, you know, that's not that big a deal. I mean, we're kind of spoiled as horror fans. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, if they put a couple years in between, you know, the 2 films, I don't think it's that big a deal.
We have so much happening in the next 2 years, horror-wise, man. We'll be okay. We'll make it. We'll make it through. I listen. Me personally, if we could see Michael and Ghostface every year, I would be a very happy man. But I'm also understanding that that's very unrealistic at the same time, you know. But I'm just excited for more of these movies. I think that there's so much, even more franchise potential moving forward, and hopefully they tap into some of that. Lighting Ghost, again, thank you so much for the $5. Let's hope Jenna comes back. I want to see her back on the big screen with her sister killing ghost faces. Or maybe becoming ghost faces themselves. I don't know. May Ann is showing some love to you, Anthony. I love it. Go follow him ASAP. He's amazing. You are amazing, Anthony.
Thank you, May. I appreciate that. You're so sweet. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you for the $2, May Ann. We appreciate you so much. Anthony is great. Go follow him. He's a child of the corn because he's from Nebraska.
There's so many people that are, just like, when I talk to new people, they're just like, child of the corn? I was like, yep, Nebraska reference, yep.
I dig it, though, man. I dig it. I like it. A child of the corn. What else do we got hanging out in the chat, though, with us? She was busy filming other things with Scream 6, so I think she'll come back for 7. That is a good point, too. That is a good point. Will she have a more limited role in Scream 7, do you think? Or do you think she's also going to be like the focal point kind of again is alongside Sam?
I mean, okay. I love Jenna to death, but I think the majority of the film has to be about Sam, right? I mean, like, you know what I mean? It just has to probably center around her with being Billy's daughter and everything. And just, Son of a biscuit. My buddy Shape had come up with a really good idea, and I don't think I can remember it all the way exactly, but he had a really, really good idea. I'd have to ask him again. But I could see maybe them bringing Nev back, and maybe Sam wanting to get back at Nev, possibly. I can't remember if that's what he said, but I was like, yeah, that storyline would actually, probably work out and stuff. But I don't think we want Sam to probably be a Ghostface in the. Honestly, okay, if anything, I think we almost figured that Scream 6 was going to be almost kind of, the same as maybe Scream 2. So maybe, like, what if they went to Hollywood for Scream 7? I mean, I'd have fun with it. Like, you know what I mean? Or just, I'm really intrigued to see what the next storyline, honestly, like, would be. But man, we just can't be having people get stabbed like 20 times and surviving. It just, it just doesn't, like, make any sense. Like, sometimes it just, like,
so you don't like that about Chad getting stabbed?
No, it was totally fine. And, like, this is totally nitpicking the movie. It honestly is. This franchise has been about this. I don't know.
You got to do that. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm wrecking on Chad, because Dewey got stabbed up a bunch of times. Dewey's like my favorite Scream character. Like, I do like Nev, obviously, and I do like Randy, but, like, Dewey's like we're maybe possibly going to Scream Fest like in October, and David Arquette's going to be there. I'm like stoked. I'm like, dude, like, yeah, like it would be so cool to, see him, meet him. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I guess just maybe just don't overindulge with the core 4 thing too much, and make it like, I know they have to, make it like a family friendly kind of film, like, you know what I mean? So they kind of have to have that aspect and stuff. I'm just honestly waiting for like a Scream film that's just very like serious and kind of dark, like, you know what I mean? Just like, yeah.
And Scream 6 is very close to that. It's very close, but it's not quite there. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally borderline. It's on the border. I really hope with Scream 7, instead of going the Scream 3 route and making it campier and more, trying to relate to the widest audience as possible. Listen, y'all got to remember, this is a horror movie. This is a slasher film about a terrifying guy in a mask who's going to stab some people in the face. And I just think they should lean even more into that with the next one, because that was like my favorite parts of that film were the scary elements. Like, Scream 6 truly has some terrifying, suspenseful moments, and I think they kind of lose that in the third act a little bit. I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was a satisfying conclusion with a killer setting, but I think they could have gone even farther into that dark side a little bit.
Yep, and really good references throughout the whole film, like to other stuff, But yeah, I totally agree. Again, totally nitpicking. Like, Scream is easily one of my favorite franchises of all time. Like, I love all of the installments. Like I told you, 4 has even grown on me a lot. But yeah, I mean, it was really good. But I can't wait for them to actually, maybe get real serious with one of them, and maybe that's after, maybe they close the Nev arc, or maybe it's already done. I don't know. Like, I trust in the people that are probably going to pick up, the writing rights, and, yeah.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, too, because I do want to talk about Nev Campbell in a second here. First, real quick, though, I do want to say thank you to Carrie Crave Cinema, who's throwing $5 in there, saying, Jake, remember who your first mod was? I'll never forget, Carrie. I'll never forget. Never. Thank you so much for all your support, Carrie. I do really appreciate it, and thank you so much. Saying, but seriously, you're good people, you're cool as fuck, and never stop messaging me about movies out of the theater. I will never, Carrie. In fact, I'm giving you my first little inkling of a review about Boogeyman next week. I promise. Nice. Right when I get out of the theater, you're the first person I'm messaging. Anthony is cool as fuck too. Yes.
So sweet, Carrie. Thank you. Carrie has such good knowledge about films and stuff. Like, it's just, man, that's what I love about the community so much. Just everybody has their different opinions and stuff. It's so cool to pick everybody's brain, and it's fun. Nice.
There's so many great people to have conversations with out there. It's wonderful, man. I just in the, like, I've been doing this for like 3.5 years, and I've just met so many cool people who share the interest of just loving movies, and it's great, man. It's absolutely wonderful. So, Carrie, thank you for being a part of this community. We appreciate you so much, everyone here. So thank you for the $5. Thank you. I can't wait to talk to you about Boogeyman. Holy shit, I'm hyped for that one. Okay, 2 questions, Anthony. Fuck it. Boogeyman coming out next week from Rob Savage. It's based off of a Stephen King short story. Are you excited for this one?
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, the trailers that I've seen so far, I've seen it about 2 or 3 different times. Um, I was very intrigued, and like I don't know. Trailers can be very deceiving, but like to me, it looks pretty good. Like it looks like a good horror film, and I'm just like, man, it's been a while since I've seen kind of like it seems like a paranormal kind of film. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And I am very intrigued with the new A24 film also. What was that one called? The one with
Talk
like
to me.
the hand. Yeah, I'm just like, ooh, okay, that looks a little different. Like, yeah.
Dude, I'm very. That's the one that I'm probably the most excited for going into next month. There's a couple of movies that I'm hyped for. Actually, Spider-Verse is next week too, so I'm really hyped for that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen. Yep.
Oh yeah, that one's gonna be good. But I absolutely am. I'm so hyped for Talk to Me because Raka Raka, it's this YouTube channel. They're doing it. They were one of my favorites. Like growing up, they have like crazy videos on there if you've never seen them before. So I'm just excited they made an A24 movie. It's like what? No way. This is crazy, man.
That's
So
dope.
I have high hopes for it. Hopefully not too high of hopes, but I think it's gonna be really good. It blew Sundance away, so hopefully it can blow us away too. And hopefully it can just blow us in general. Anyways, Sidney Prescott. We got to talk about this, Anthony. So, the next movie, you want this to be darker. A lot of us want it to be darker. We loved that about Scream 6. A lot of people did. Do you think bringing Sidney Prescott back into the fold, does that make that more like the original Scream movies more? Do we close the arc with Nev? Do you have any big thoughts about what they do with Sidney Prescott moving forward?
And it would kind of make sense to make a pretty dark and serious, like, film for her to like end her arc on, you know what I mean? Or just like, maybe that's the kind of film or Scream film she wants to be in and she's interested in. Like, maybe she's kind of like, and I'm not calling these other ones cookie cutter by any means. I'm not, but like maybe she wants more of like a serious role and like more of, but it's weird because Scream is very grounded in kind of like that campiness too, though. Like, you know what I mean? It's, yeah, it's hard to say. Like, I mean, I think everybody wants to see, her character, go off into the sunset, or at least, come back in one more film and just see how they can write it up. If she does, man, I hope they can write it up well and not just like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be such a shame if they didn't, because she's done so much for the franchise. Like, I mean, she's one of my top 3 favorite final girls, and it's just, man, I hope they can, because she just seems like an awesome person. Like, and just like, you know what I mean? Like, it was, a shame that they couldn't, get the whole money and everything managed, differently because it would have been interesting to see her like character in New York and how they would have wrote that and everything. So what like, okay, if you had to guess, what do you think the setting is going to be in 7? I think that determines a lot, or makes.
Well, with how exciting it was to go to New York City, to see Ghostface run around New York, that was so cool. Like, immediately from the first scene, you're like, oh shit, we're in like a totally different environment than usual. Like, anything can happen. And some crazy environmental kills happen in that movie, which is refreshing to say the least. Like Ghostface stealing the gun from the clerk at the bodega and then just shooting around like the convenience store or whatever. Like, that's fucking awesome. That is so different, and so like you would never see that in any other Scream movie. And I really appreciated that element to it. And maybe it's a little gimmicky to set to have your focus of the movie be the location or whatever, but I don't really care. Like, at this point, I'm like, that was so exciting the way they did it with New York City. They didn't take the tourist route either, which that would have been gimmicky. That if like, oh, Sam's we're the Core 4 is going to the Statue of Liberty. We're going to the Empire State Building. We're running around Times Square. That would have sucked. That would have been campy and whatever. But these were just regular people living in New York City, and that's why I think it was so fresh. When you hear Ghostface Takes Manhattan, you think of what the approach was with Friday the 13th Part 8, and thankfully they didn't take that same approach. I think they actually did much better than what Friday Part 8 did. So if they can apply that principle of not making it gimmicky to other locations, I say fuck yeah, dude. Take us to a snowy cabin resort in the middle of the woods or something. Do New York in the snow. Do Tropical Vacation. Just something that's different that gives it an edge, that gives Ghostface either a certain advantage or a certain disadvantage. That's what we need to do next, I think, for sure.
So you want him to go, I still know what you did last summer on Scream.
Okay,
No,
but that would be pretty cool.
Could
though.
make sense with it could make sense with Nev, like maybe, you know, vacationing with her family or something. Like, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like it could be written in there. You know, I wonder if they do the fan service. I'm not for sure if you were still on the Stooge train or not, or like wanting him to come back, because it could possibly make sense. But I felt like in 6, when they threw the TV on the Ethan kid, I thought that's where they were pretty much saying like, nope, he's dead. Like, did you not get that? Or like, I don't know,
Oh,
maybe.
dude, I have a whole video in the works on that, my friend. Oh
Yeah.
man, I was gonna post that today, but I really wanted to watch the movie again
Yeah.
before making that video, because dude, there's a lot of little inklings in that movie about Stu being dead, which I think is really
think so.
interesting.
Yeah, I
But-
think so.
But you want it to happen, right? You want Stu to come back.
Well, it would make for an interesting storyline, and then bringing Sid back would make even more sense. Like, you know what I mean? And like maybe, you know, Stu's doing it for Billy and for himself, because he always kind of had a thing for her, and just kind of taking it back to like the roots of the whole thing, you know, and stuff like that. And maybe Stu was, you know, best friends with, you know, Sam's mom, and, you know, and Sam, you know, where are her parents at? Like, their parents have to be brought into the, stirred up into the story somehow. Like, it just doesn't make any sense that they're gone this whole time. Or maybe, I don't know. I think the parents are going to be brought into the storyline on the next one for sure.
Does that make them the killers, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, that would, you know, Sam's mom being, you know, the killer, and then maybe her and Sam like team up, and that's the reveal at the end. Like, Sam's been playing this innocent person the whole time, but she was actually, you know, in the cahoots with her mom. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it, you know, but yeah, I don't know.
You just want it to be good, you know. We
Yeah,
all just want Scream 7 to be another solid entry. It's a delicate franchise at this point, because we have 6 movies that, for the most part, I think most people would agree that these are pretty solid movies. These are all very fun movies, and I just hope they can continue that with 7. And what we've seen with 6 is there were so many good elements, a few things that were cons, and hopefully they can continue that into the future and keep making this franchise with the building blocks that make it great, while also adding something new.
Yep.
Kendra is throwing $10 out there. Thank you so much, Kendra. I appreciate you. Saying, thanks again for taking the time to review The Craft after I recommended it. Of course. I know you're super busy. Like I said, it's my fave. I was excited to see your take on it. Nancy is one of my favorite antagonists. Dude, The Craft blew my fucking mind. Anthony, I don't know if, I'm sure you've seen this. I watched it for the first time recently due to Kendra's recommendation. It blew my fucking mind. I'm like, how have I never seen this? This is a killer 90s movie. It's maybe one of my favorites from that time period.
I have not seen The Craft. No, I'm totally joking. Of course I've seen The Craft. Yeah. Yeah. No, that movie is pure 90s, you know, just like, I mean, that's hitting right before Scream comes out the very next year. You know, you see Ski Ulrich, you know, as kind of like the jockey dude, but man, like, you know, Nev Campbell's in there, you know, and I think they said that the girl that was the protagonist, or, you know, like the new girl or whatever, she might actually tried out for like the Scream film. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I thought that's what I heard.
Robin Tunney is the actress.
The main antagonist, though, the girl from Waterboy, holy shnikes, man. Like, talk about just casting perfectly, you know, for like, oh, that movie has such cool elements to it. Like, it's a good film, man. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, Fairuza Balk, I think her performance is maybe what makes that one for me.
Next level, yep.
And Nev Campbell is also really good in it as well. She like plays, it's not like, so Kendra, in all honesty, something that I wanted to not omit, but like just edit about my review to The Craft is I said that she plays a totally different character from Sidney Prescott. It's not like ridiculously different, but I do love that Nev Campbell's basically this little weirdo running around. Like, she has like her hood up and she's walking with her books, like all like secret, like, I don't know, just her body language and the way she plays that character feels so different from what I've seen her play in other things. Like, she really is showing off her versatility in that role, and I just think that's really impressive to me. I don't know, everyone in that movie across the board is so good.
Dude, amen. Like, exactly, I couldn't agree more. That shows you that Nev Campbell has like substance, and she can, you know, be all kinds of different roles. Like, I totally agree. Yeah, something totally different, and then you see her come and be like the main final girl, and like the next year I'm like, whoa, dude, like, hands down, like, applaud.
Right,
Yeah,
man.
no doubt.
Yeah, Nancy really is one of the better antagonists, I think, from 90s horror just in general. Great take there, Kendra. I love it. But once again, thank you for the recommendation. So yes, if you're a patron, Ghostface tier patrons get to see the Craft review, and I also did the Craft Legacy review, which was... I don't know if I'd even recommend that one, but I did a review on it regardless. Check it out if you can. That's for Jason and Freddie tier patrons, so check that out. Thank you guys so much for your support, and Kendra, again, thank you. Lots of people to thank in this wonderful chat. It's awesome, man. It's awesome.
I'm so glad you clicked on that. Nice. Yep.
Great take.
Yep.
Great take. It's the Lost Boys, but with witches. I completely agree.
What's up, Conrad? No doubt. Yeah, Conrad's always got some good opinions, but yeah, pretty much exactly. Yep, exactly.
And I love both of those movies, man. I think both of them kick ass,
dude. We were just talking about Batman Forever. A lot of people forget that that's Joel Schumacher, man. Like, to me, there are elements in that film where I'm just like, man, this is Lost Boys plus the animated series. Like, this is exactly what it is. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Wow, that blew my mind. I forgot he directed that. No fucking way. Yeah, man.
He actually did the next one too, Batman and Robin. I feel like he got a lot of flack for those movies, but man, he was trying to make them very family oriented. They were trying to sell toys and shit. So like he was doing what he was doing because he was pretty much told to. So yeah.
I mean, I like the campiness of those movies personally.
Oh, hell yeah.
I can vibe with it as a fan of like early Batman. So like, that's why I'm like, okay, I dig this. It's not I think it's just such a counter to the dark Batman that was so fresh and new at the time, from, 89 and the weirder Tim Burton sequel that I still fucking love.
Oh, Returns is dope, man. I used to be scared of that film when I was younger. Like when they
it's scary as fuck, man.
Oh yeah, when they're going through the old aquarium or like in stuff, and the music, the score is so good. Danny Elfman's a beast in those two films. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, man. Without a doubt. We'll have to do a Batman stream at some point, man.
Dude, I would love to talk about this. That would be really good. Yeah.
Oh, shit, man. Lightning Ghost is throwing $10 out there. Lightning Ghost, again, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Saying the actor that played Cotton Weary said recently he regrets asking to be killed off in the opening of Scream 3. Thoughts? Anthony, I'll throw that to you first.
Amen, dude. We've talked about this a bunch. Like, Cotton Weary is like one of the most underrated characters in the Scream franchise. Like, you know what I mean? Everything he like goes through, and everything in the first one, and then, in the second one, he's pretty much the hero, which was like, yes, like this is dope. He's finally getting his here in the end. You know what I mean? It did make sense for him, like, I guess it made for a good opening. A lot of people wreck on the third opening. I think it's cool. But I guess if there was one other person I was disappointed to see get killed off, obviously it's Samara in 6, man. Like, man, I wanted her in this franchise, dude. I just so badly did. But oh yeah, dude, I dug Cotton's character, and man, I just love Scream 3. It's such a good film. Like, it's one of my favorites, man. Like, it's gonna take a lot for a Scream film to probably overtake. Like, it goes 1, 2, 3, and sometimes I could even go 1, 3, 2, maybe. Like, I love 3. Yeah, 3's fun, man. It's just it's literally like a Scream grown-up Scooby-Doo movie, and I love it. Like, it's fun.
Dude, oh no, without a doubt, man. It's one of the most fun Scream films, if not the most fun. It has one of the most killer soundtracks, a great cast. It's so much. I'm not crazy about Roman personally, but I do really love a lot of that movie. Like, a lot of it is very fun, and yeah, it's grown up Scooby-Doo. It's almost like a spiritual sequel to like the Matthew Lillard Scooby-Doo movies in a weird way. It has kind of like a similar flavor to that. But my thoughts on the opening is I really do love it because of where Scream 2 ends. And then to immediately pick up with Cotton Weary. One of the most interesting elements to the ending of Scream 2 is that Cotton Weary, you're suspicious of him the whole time, and he's almost like this red herring. And instead of just being like, oh, he was just a weirdo, whatever, they don't just throw that to the side. No, they recycle that for the ending for him to save Sydney. But it's done in a way that kind of makes for the most bittersweet ending of any of these films, because he's like, what about that Diane Sawyer interview? And that's when he decides to save her. It's a very weird ending. It's like, would he have let Sydney die there otherwise? It really makes you question it. And I think that's really, really fascinating that he gets his comeuppance literally in the opening scene of the next movie.
Great thought, dude. Hell yeah, like that. Yeah, no doubt. When she's like, yeah, consider it. Yeah, consider it done. Like, yeah, it does make you wonder and question a lot of that. But, and he's just wanting what he felt like what he was due, and everything. I actually really do like the reveal of Roman in the end. Like, man, that took me by such a surprise when I saw Scream 3 for the first time. I was like, oh wow, they hit you with the okey doke. He wasn't dead. It made total sense because he was in a basement full of practical effects, and everything, and all these. Like, it's so cool, man. Like,
I like that element to it. Like, honestly, his fake out death, I really like that. I thought that was really, it was really, that's interesting. I just wish his motive. I don't like his motive. That's the
true.
thing.
He does get a little whiny at the end. He definitely does. Definitely. Because it's just like, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. But it's also kind of the same, the whole, Jill and 4, the whole Marsha thing, kind of a little bit. But, those motives are still good. You know what I mean? Like, they still make sense. Yeah.
It still works. Yeah, no, it totally works. To do the family thing twice in 2 movies, that's what I'm not crazy about with Screams 2 and 3. I'm like, I just wish 3 had gone a little differently. Just somewhere else, just no family relations, something else. Because I think Roman, like, Scott Foley's amazing in that movie. I think he's really good. He doesn't, he's a little more of a limited role, but he's there. He does a good job. The idea of a stab movie director being a killer is really interesting to me. I just wish once again, another thing I just wish they would have hyper focused on, opposed to I'm your long lost brother. It almost turns into a soap opera for me a little bit.
Yep. But you could say that a lot of horror films and slasher films are kind of soap operas. They're big time, they're dramas. You know what I mean? Like, it's right. I can feel like that's kind of one of the elements I like about horror films, are like all genres thrown into one. Like, that's, I think, what we like them so much. Honestly, yeah.
That's a great point. That's a great point, man. You can get anything from a horror film, where you can't say the same thing about like a rom-com or comedy. You can get like silliness, you can get scary. There's a lot of flavors you can get from this genre, and it's wonderful. It's great. Scream 3 is still a horror film, even if it's borderline not. You know what I mean? It still has that element to it, which is great. But yeah, I really like the Scream 3 opening. It's not my favorite opening to a Scream film, but I think it's so cool because of the ending of 2. So that's why I do really like that. Would I like Liev Schreiber back in the franchise? I mean, that might be cool, but I think he's dead. I do think he's dead. But if he was still alive and he came back to a movie, that would be fucking awesome too. But
so what are your thoughts on this whole thing about Drew Barrymore wanting written back in?
Oh, man.
No way, dude. I'm sorry, dude. Drew. I love you to death, but there's just no way. We're getting crazy with this. No. Like,
I think it's really funny that we have now, like, Liev Schreiber, Parker Posey, Drew Barrymore. They're all like, well, we could come back. Look, if Skeet can come back, and if so many people want to see Stu come back, why can't we come back? And I just think it's very funny to me, but like at the same time, I'm like, Scream deserves a little better. Like, I'm like, we can do the Stu thing. We can do that and have Nev Campbell fight him. But I just feel like that's it. That's at that point, if we do that, like, that's it for the franchise. I think they kind of have, the ship has sailed, it's almost like jumping the shark in a lot of ways. That's why me personally, I'm just so against it. But like, going beyond the logistical stuff, whatever about that, to me, it's like, if we do something like that, the average moviegoer is going to see that as jumping the shark. Like, they're running out of ideas, so they have to bring back their best killer. And that's why I guess I would be so concerned about that.
Oh yeah. The flashback. He's like, she's like, oh fuck. He's like, or what she says, or what she's like, fuck no, and he's like, fuck yes. He's like, grab that knife and clear this room out, like that shit at the end in 6. I was like, yes, this is kind of funny. But where he says Casey flashback, yeah, I mean, that could be cool. That could be cool.
Okay.
Maybe it shows like maybe her and Stu or something when they were together or something like that. Like, there are a lot of flashback things that they could do. I don't know how they do that, with CGI maybe or something, or
Dude, imagine like Randy has a videotape of like Casey and Billy and Stu and all them hanging out or something beforehand, like maybe like a year before the events of the original Scream. Like, wouldn't that be kind of cool? And they could, they could do the de-aging, but put a VHS filter on it so it doesn't look like as bad as, I don't want to say Skeet Ulrich looks bad in Screams 5 and 6, but it's not, it's not amazing either. But I don't know. I think doing something like that would be really fun, and it would satisfy the urge that a lot of us have to see these old characters back on the big screen.
I think it would have been so cool if Randy would have been the killer, to be honest. It would have made a lot of
Ooh.
sense. Yeah, like it would have, yeah. Have you seen Trick, the movie Trick? I
Dude,
might have,
everyone's recommending this movie to me.
dude,
I gotta see it, man.
yeah, definitely need to watch. Definitely need to watch, dude. But to me, like that storyline, I just don't know if well, technically, I guess Billy and Stu were, slasher horror fanatics. So, but just like I guess Randy being like the video store dude and stuff like that, it would have been kind of cool because I don't know. If Macaulay Culkin's brother can be the killer, I think Randy would have. You know what I mean?
Jamie Kennedy would play a good Ghostface killer though, just in general. Like even if he wasn't Randy, I'd be like he would be really interesting actually. I don't know. I'd be down for it personally, but yeah, it's another one of those things where it's like, has that ship sailed? You know, could they play another character in this universe?
Dude,
I
Jamie
mean,
Kennedy, he's awesome, dude. You watch his Instagram, he's hilarious as shit, dude.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
I would
yeah.
love to see his stand-ups, dude, man. Oh, he's good stuff, man.
and he looks so different nowadays too. I mean,
Yeah.
like he could, play another character. I don't know. I'm not against that. Real quickly, I do want to thank Sarah for gifting 5 Killjoy Jake memberships. Sarah is incredible. She's constantly
Nice.
coming in here gifting people stuff. So Barb, Noah Atkinson, Sloth King Chase, Catbread, and Johanna have all been gifted memberships by Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
Catbread.
We all appreciate you.
I do not know how to do that. I swear I've been on YouTube for like how long, and I don't know how to do that. I guess apparently.
I don't
Maybe
know.
have to be on my computer instead of my phone. I don't know. Yeah,
There is different things on the computer too. I have seen that.
maybe that's what it is. But no, that's an awesome element to have on YouTube, like gifting memberships. That's dope.
I'm very thankful for Sarah. We all appreciate her big time. So thank you so much. Thank you. But yes, getting back to it though, Trick with Jamie Kennedy though. So this is a good movie because I've yet to see it.
Yeah, Omar Epps is in it, dude. It's real good, man. Like you want to talk about a horror film that's like very dark and has you like sitting here being like, whoa, this isn't kind of like making sense, but then like at the end it does make sense. The reveal is good. It's like, man, I'm telling you, dude, you'll definitely like it. I don't know if it's still on Tubi. It was a couple weeks ago, but it's good. I mean, it got all the Halloween, atmosphere in it and stuff, but it's a good slasher film, man. Definitely.
Hell yeah, man. Okay. I'm gonna have to check this one out. I love Jamie Kennedy and I love I love Omar Epps too. I mean, holy shit. That's cool. Okay, I'll look into it. I need a good slasher. I've been kind of looking for one recently. So.
Okay, so here's a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only reason I'm asking is like, okay, what makes I Know What You Did Last Summer a good slasher to you? Like, what elements about it makes it a good slasher film?
There's a pretty good mystery element in I Know What You Did Last Summer. My biggest thing about it too is like the cast is excellent, but I don't love all the characters. I think I really like Julie James. I think she's a really well executed character.
Totally.
I wish they were a little more likable, but I get why they're not. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where I'm very back and forth on it. But I think it's so iconic why it sticks with people is because it has that scream factor to it, where it's like the 90s were so focused on having these relatable teen characters that are written, perfectly for the time. And this film executes that very well in a lot of ways. You get to see them in high school and then a year later. That's also an interesting facet to it as well. I know a lot of people who are in that, that phase where they're 19 years old, maybe they're in college, maybe they're not, they're still figuring out what to do with their life. And I think that movie especially touches on that subject matter, which is another thing that's really interesting. All of these 90s movies touch on different elements to being a young person in the late 90s, early thousands. And I think that's another very relatable aspect to these films that people really dig. That's one of the strongest things about that film, in my opinion. But the kills and the chase scenes are also excellent too.
Amen. Yeah. To me, okay, like the only reason I ask is because like to me, I Know What You Did Last Summer is I think it's a very serious and dark kind of toned film. Like I think there's not like a lot of campiness in it, but I just think the storyline is so good, the reveal is so good. I know a lot of people don't like the character, maybe the cast. Honestly, I think Philippi does a really good job of playing that jockey dude that everybody knew, you know what I mean? But I actually started listening to Freddie Prinze Jr. He does this podcast now where he actually talked about being on like the set and like everything and stuff like that, and how the director Gillespie didn't really like him at first and all this stuff. It's really interesting to just like listen to that, and it just takes you back, man. It's crazy. But I just feel like the storyline is a little darker and more serious tone than like even Scream a little bit. Like I just feel like that, I know it's compared to Scream like a lot, but I think if it was like maybe even before Scream, do you think people would enjoy it more if it would have been before Scream?
Oh, that's really tough.
Because it was actually written, Kevin Williamson had actually written it before. Yeah.
It's tough to say because, people love The Craft, and that's before Scream, technically. It's not too far before, but it is. I think people would have clung to this one. The big reason people love movies like this at the time was because no one else was doing that. Like 96 is kind of the first year we started to touch on that. Like, oh, what if we, direct these horror films towards a younger audience? The people who had grown up with the slashers through the 80s had, kind of gotten older and weren't as into horror films maybe anymore, or just, they had been doing the same thing over and over again with slashers. Now to change it up and it had to have the target audience be something completely different, a whole new generation, essentially. That was really fresh, and people really responded to that big time in the late 90s. So I don't know. I think, if these movies would have came out even earlier, they might have looked a little different. We might have gotten like weird, like early stages of like these 90s slashers that weren't quite all there, but then as like when something like Scream came out, it's like, oh, that's how you fucking do it. Yep. Like I think about like a good comparison there is like Black Christmas to Halloween, like from 74 to 78. You know what I mean?
Dude, preach.
All good stuff. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
Halloween kind of cemented the formula for what a slasher should be, where Black Christmas almost feels like the inklings of it, like the first steps towards that. And then moving through the 70s, you get more and more of that throughout more and more films. Finally, 1978 comes around, and bam, this is the formula for a slasher, and that kind of happened all over again in the 90s with Scream, I think.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like you have Candyman early, a little bit of Child's Play, then you have The Craft, but then Scream hits and you're like, oh shit, this is a horror film that's way different than the rest. Yeah. I sent in a super chat to Mike and Jay, and I'm like, okay, which argument would you side with? Scream over 78, Halloween 78, or Hellraiser over original Nightmare on Elm Street? I'm a super fan of Hellraiser. I think it's a different type of horror film, but if you want to say horror film, it really fits that, it really hits like home, but like that's a horror film. Like it's, yeah. I mean, I know it's not for everybody, but I mean, it's a good one. I like that though. Black Christmas, dude. That movie just does not. Oh, that movie is so good. Like
it's so good,
so good. And it's like, which one meant more, Black Christmas or TCM that came out the next year after? It's like they're two totally different films, but like, both so like historic. Like it's crazy. It's hard to compare it to Halloween because I think they said that Carpenter actually approached Louise, what's the dude's name?
Oh my god, he did the other Christmas movie too, and I can't think of his name.
I think it's Bill something. I could be wrong. But he approached him and was like, hey, do you have any any advice? And he was like, well, I was thinking about doing a Halloween film. And so then he was like, okay, here we go. And he kind of took it and ran with it. But man, I think Black Christmas is very underrated. Like, I think it did a lot for the slasher genre, honestly.
Bob Clark is his name.
There we go. Yep.
But no, I totally agree, dude. Like, if you don't have movies like that or Psycho or even Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like what would a slasher look like nowadays? Yep. It's like, I don't even know. Like these movies shaped what the slasher was.
We were so spoiled in the 90s, honestly. I'm so glad that I grew up in the time that I did. Like we don't have to get big into it or anything, but I also enjoy the remakes of the 2000s. I really do. Conrad and I talk about it all the time, man. I really do enjoy those. I think they get a lot of flack, but I think they actually were a product of their time, and they still told a really. I think that was the thing about Scream 4 that I didn't like at first, was like the color saturation and the lighting and how dark it was. But then you find out that all of those films kind of had that same picture and everything, but then you're like, oh man, I actually kind of dig this. Like, it's actually kind of cool. But very, very happy for the time I grew up for horror films, like big time.
Oh yeah, oh dude, yeah, like the thousands. I really like a lot of the remakes from that time period. Like, you know, admittedly, some of them, not a lot of them, are not great. Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, 2010.
Yeah, not the best film. Yeah,
not crazy about
it
that
actually
one.
has very good eeriness and like elements at the beginning, and then it kind of falls apart. But yeah.
Right, I think it starts really good. But like from all of these movies, like I don't think any of them are like, wow, never watching that again. You know what I mean? Like all of them have something about them at least. Conrad's talking about House of Wax, 2005.
Such a good film.
Very underrated, man. Dawn of the Dead, the remake of that one's really good in my opinion. There's so many good movies from that time.
Why did it take me forever to realize that that's Zack Snyder? I didn't realize that. Like,
and James Gunn, man.
Yeah,
you know,
as I'm sitting here watching Justice League, but like, yeah, like that's so cool, man. Like, that's why I'm so stoked about Fede Alvarez doing the new Alien film, because he did such a good job with the remake of Evil Dead. Like, man, that film is so cool, dude. Like, I don't know. Really,
it's one of my favorite remakes of all time.
Of all time. Yeah, yeah.
Oh god, it's so good. Sarah Campbell's throwing $5.50 in there. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate that. Saying I'm being frugal this stream. You just donated. You just donated five chats to people. Sarah, we love you. Thank you so much. You are you're incredible, is what you are. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm saving up for the final boy bracket. We're doing that on Monday, baby. Let's go. I'm hyped for it. We can't have another Charlie Gate, not on my goddamn watch. Hell yeah, Sarah. I'm very hyped to reveal who's on the list. I kind of got a picture of it. I won't say yet. I got to keep you guys in suspense a little longer. But check out the channel on Monday. We're doing a big old bracket stream to close out the month. It's going to be a fun one too. So don't miss it. Vote for your favorite final boy. I'm trying to get people that I see people talking about a lot too. So if there's any last minute suggestions you want to throw out there, put them in the chat. I'll write them down. I have my notes right here, actually. It just so happens. So if you have any other final boys y'all want to see on the list, throw them out there. I'd love to see it. So Sarah, thank you so much for the support on this stream. You're incredible. I hope you're chilling wherever you are. Hope you're having a great Memorial Day weekend. And once again, just thank you for all the support. I appreciate all of you guys so much.
No doubt. Everybody in the comments, no doubt.
If Dewey is not on the list, I riot. Oh, come on. Dewey's on the list. Don't worry. Very funny. Very funny. So, this is another good question, though. Are you feeling the void now that Dewey is not in Scream anymore? Like, because we've all talked about how Sidney has left kind of a void in Scream 6. Do you feel that way about Dewey in the sixth film?
I love Courtney Cox. You know, I love, you know, her role. I again, like, I know it had to be done in 5 to be like, yo, we got some balls, man. Like, we're going to take some shots here. We're going to take some chances in 5. Just wish it wasn't Dewey. He just seemed like the most genuine throughout the whole franchise and stuff. Like, they took Randy and, you know, the second one to then again, you know, say, hey, you know, anybody can, you know, get taken, which again, his death scene's historic. Like, you know, or to me, it's awesome. Like, it's probably top 5 for sure. Yeah, it sucked, man, that they took Dewey, man. Like, it honestly did. But see, this is the kind of thing, and I'm, again, nitpicking just a little bit. It's like, okay, if you're going to take Dewey, sure, that's fine. Let it be Stu and not Amber. It just didn't make a lot of sense. Like, you know what I mean? And then, like, you know, Quinn jumping through hoops and stuff, you know, in Courtney Cox's, you know, apartment. It's just like, dude, okay, it's good writing, but not really, though. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not a big fan of that?
It's not terrible. And, dude, I'm not going to lie. The girl that was actually playing Quinn in the third act, she's crazy. Like, I'm telling you, she smashed that role. I was like, damn, like, this girl's like got her teeth knocked out, but yet she's like still coming for blood. Like, it was good stuff. No, actually, her and Ethan did a really good job in that third act. Like, they were very believable in everything for sure. I don't know about the knife stab through the mouth or whatever, but it was whatever. But you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I mean, dude, when I was watching Scream 5 for the first time and Dewey died, I was like, holy shnikes. I was not expecting that to happen. Just was not. But, you know, I don't know. He's just so damn genuine, man. And you know what I mean? Like, he just, you know, he's always looking out the best for everybody else other than himself. And it just, yeah.
I genuinely was not sold on the movie until I saw that until I saw Dewey die, which I know, like, it's not like I just want all these characters to die or something. I hadn't felt like I'm like Scream 5, new directors, new people in charge of the creative process. These guys have to do something to stick out, you know what I mean? And to kill one of those characters is like, holy shit. They did that. Everyone talking about this movie beforehand was like, they're not going to kill legacy characters. Come on. Like, that's ridiculous. And no, like, everyone wants to say now after Scream 6, like, oh man, these guys can't subvert expectations to save their lives, but they already did. And they did it in one of the most shocking deaths of 2022, in my opinion. So it's one of those things where, yes, it sucks and it was so depressing, but it's like it kind of had to happen.
Yep.
You know, something like that had to happen in that movie. Otherwise, I don't think I would have been as impressed by it.
Yep. Yeah, no, I would probably definitely agree. Do you like 6? Did you like 6 better than 5?
I'm really on the fence about that. Right now, I want to say yes. You know,
Okay.
right now I want to say yes, I did. But there are elements of 5 that I fucking love that 6 doesn't have. I don't know. Like, they really impressed me with the intro of 6, and I loved that. But I almost wish that could have been the whole movie. But they make a point later on in the film where they're like, well, you know, we can't do the same thing again, you know, from literally the last movie where it's people who are just trying to make a new movie, finish Richie's movie. That would have just been kind of repetitive. So I do kind of agree, and Mindy says that later on. I'm like, okay, yeah, you got a point. Don't do the same thing again. I just really appreciated the freshness of that motive, and to build a trilogy off of that might have been really cool, because what I learned from Scream 6 is that it must be tough to come up with a Ghostface motive, because I personally, I can see so many different routes that they can take with it, but practically it might be a tougher thing to truly execute. But however you feel about Scream 5's motive, it is different. It has yet to be done in the franchise before that, and I thought that was really cool. And I don't know, I liked that freshness. I wish they would have ran with that, opposed to doing the Scream 2 thing over again.
Totally agree. Yeah. I didn't mind it, but I thought they were going to go a different route. Yeah, if I had to be honest. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yep.
Extron's asking a very good question. We've been talking Scream for a while, so we got to talk a little Terrifier. What do you think Terrifier 3 will go, what will it do? Where will it go after Terrifier 2? In the second one, we see that the little girl clown, I think she got stuck in a cult, has powers that she gave Art, like superhuman strength. What do you think they're going to do in Terrifier 3, Anthony?
Oh, hard to say. I heard some people mentioning, like, oh, what if he starts, like, what if he talks in the third one? And I'm like, ugh, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, keep his mystique, or like whatever, like, just don't do that. No. I thought that for me, 2 was, it's a pretty long film. I thought it got a little lengthy and drawn out, maybe in the third act, maybe just a tad bit, but not like crazy. I was blown away when I first saw 2, because I was just like, wow, where they came from this first film to this film, and just totally impressed. Totally impressed. Would they bring that other girl back, the final girl from the other one, or probably just do a total, new storyline?
They got to bring Lauren Lavera back, man. I mean, to me,
she's awesome. She's
right.
Awesome. Yeah.
She's just as iconic as Art the Clown now, I think, personally. So I would love to see her back fighting against Art. It seems like they're building a story around her and her family relating to Art somehow. They gave us little like clues, but they didn't give us the full picture, which I really appreciated about Terrifier 2. So hopefully we get some more answers to the questions in Terrifier 3 about like how Art the Clown relates to the Shaw family a little more.
Yep. Yeah, like, honestly, I thought she was awesome as a final girl. Like, I was actually kind of blown away. I was like, damn, like, it was a very unexpected movie. Like, I felt like everybody kind of knew more so, like, what the movie was going to be than myself. Like, I did watch the first one, and I was like, oh, wow, yeah, that's a different film than I've seen, like, recently or whatever. But that second one, I was like, wow, they've really come a long way with the production and like everything. Like, again, like, it shows you that a small sample, or somebody that doesn't have a bunch of money, can do make something great. And so pretty refreshing. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm very hyped to see it. I do. Yeah. Extron, to your point as well. I do believe that the little clown pale girl, whatever, like definitely gives Art like superhuman powers or whatever. I just don't know how or what's going on there. I got to do another.
She was creepy in that movie, yeah, no doubt.
Oh, dude, for sure, man.
The
I'm very hyped to talk
was,
about that.
perfect, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, fuck. I'm just so hyped for more Terrifier. I don't know. I love Terrifier too. I can't wait to get a third one. It's gonna be fun. Lighting Ghost is throwing $10 out there. Thank you so much, Lighting Ghost. I appreciate your support. Saying with everything about Tower, I'm making Chris from Get Out win the boys bracket stream, just like I had Scream win best Scream movie and Sam win best final girl. Nice. Chris from Get Out is absolutely on the list. I can't, Lighting Ghost, I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but someone just put that in the chat. I was like, oh fuck yeah. And Arkin from The Collector, I believe Conrad put that in there. Yes, for sure on both of those. I wrote both of those down. I was like, oh, kind of forgot about those characters. Shit, okay. Yeah, no, definitely going on the list for sure. So that'll be cool to see if he wins.
Do you got Freddie Prinze Jr. on there too, or no? No, I'm just playing. Is he on there?
Yeah, probably. He'll probably be
no,
on there.
no. I was just thinking. I was like, I mean, I'm thinking off the bat. I'm like, God, who are some final guys? Like, obviously, you got Ash and stuff, and
Ash has got to be on there.
Yeah, I mean, he's hands down. And then you got, Jarvis from Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Tommy Jarvis. Yeah, absolutely.
But Chris from Get Out, oof. Honestly, he might take the bracket, dude. That movie, Jesus Christ, dude. That movie is, again, just a perfect example of why Jordan Peele is one of my favorite, directors. It's just, that movie was nuts, dude, when I first saw it. It's just, I don't know. And I am a fan of Nope and Us. Like, I like both of those films, so very interested, and intrigued to see what direction he goes with on his next film. Definitely.
Absolutely, man. I'm very excited to see what's next. He has a release date for his next movie in late 2024 around Christmas time.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yep. I remember you talking about that. Nice.
Dude, I have no idea what it's gonna be, but I'm seated. Like, I don't even care what it's about. Like, I'm there. I will be there opening night. Yep. Like, he's impressed me so much in his first 3 movies that he's directed. Like, how it's so impressive, man. I don't know. He's truly one of the biggest horror directors of our time, and I just can't wait to see what he's got cooking up next. So 100% Chris is going to be on that list. Lighting Ghost, thank you for the $10, my friend. And Lighting Ghost is on a goddamn roll here. We love you, man. Thank you so much. Throwing another 10 in there. Dude, I love it. I love it. Thank you. Saying, I think Scream 6 was a better overall film than 5. Better kills, better opening scene. I agree. Actually had chase scenes. Yes. But 5 did have a better motive, I think. I wholeheartedly agree with that. What do you think about that?
Amen to everything. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like there were elements of originality that I loved in 5, and the reveal was very good at the end, it being the setting at the original house, and everything like that. A little flat, though. It is a little flat in the middle, where 6 is not much like that, but then, again, the reveal at the end maybe isn't as good. But, yeah, so I totally agree. I do like both films a lot. For some odd reason, I feel like I'm having 4 going over 5, though, in my ranking.
I put 4 over 5.
Yeah, which is weird because like I feel like everything that I wasn't appreciating about 4, I am now. Where I'm like, oh, this is actually more around the original nostalgia of the original films, which I'm kind of digging. I'm just waiting for Radio Silence to just come out with a very original Scream film, and not kind of base it off the nostalgia or originality of the first film or the second one. Like, I'm really interested to see what they'll do for the next film, if they do decide to do it, or they write it, or
I hope so, man. Like, I love what they did with 5 and 6. And it seems like exponentially they're going towards that what you're talking about, like where it's gonna be their own thing. And like 6 felt even more like a Radio Silence film than 5 did. And I'm like, man, let's just keep going down that direction. These are such good movies. I would love to just keep going further down that path. Hopefully that's the case. I'm open to new people. I'm open to it, but I'm always gonna get worried no matter who it is. Like I've been talking about Christopher Landon potentially being a new director, a new face for the franchise, which would be cool.
Conrad knows who my favorite, I guess you would say, slasher, Ty West, dude. Like, I freaking love X. I watched Pearl. Like, Yeah, like, dude, this dude brings like, okay, we just watched X like maybe last month, and first time I saw it, I was like, dude, this has such original vibe to like all these old school like slasher films, TCM, Psycho vibes. Really excited about Maxine. Pearl, it just shows you how much like depth he has, as in he can like make this almost a semi-musical but then have like these serious elements and scenes where you're just like, whoa dude, this is like crazy. And dude, X is like literally one of my favorite slasher films of all time. Like it honestly, it's definitely top 10. It could be reaching top 5. Like I was blown away by that film. So Ty West would be pretty cool, I feel like. But I don't know if Scream is kind of like his wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Yeah.
My thing about Ty West is he's like really good at doing what he's familiar with, but when you see him do something he's like a little more out of his ballpark, it doesn't hit as well. Like I don't know if you've ever seen the first VHS, but like his segment is very, I don't know, like he just clearly didn't want to do a found footage segment. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it comes off to me. It's not that.
I have actually not seen those VHS movies. Definitely have seen trailers and like pieces of them, but not like any. I haven't seen them all the way through. Sorry.
Oh, dude, I recommend them. Yeah, no, they're fun. They're fun movies. It's nothing like super thought provoking or anything like that. It's just goofy horror shorts, But I really enjoy them. They're just dumb fun. But yeah, his is a little like it just feels a little underdeveloped. Like maybe this would have been a cool like Ty West movie, but because it's found footage and all that, it's a little weird. But I think like me personally, Ty West would do an excellent Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre in my opinion. Like he should do one of those at some point in the future.
Yeah, because that was another one that I did watch, House of the Devil, which had very good throwback vibe. Yeah, like it's weird. It's like even his like directing style and like it's just weird. It seems like the filter that's over the picture is very old school-ish, and it's just I don't know. So I actually think that you're right. I think a Halloween or TCM movie would actually probably be more his wheelhouse. I know Scream Rat, he always talks about the Prowler or something like that. Something old school would be kind of maybe more his wheelhouse. Yeah.
He's in love with the 70s, man. For him to do this, Maxine that's going to be a little more 80s focused is really interesting to me. I'm hyped for it. But I don't know if Maxine's going to be better than X or Pearl. Like what a way to start a trilogy of films. He's got a crazy bar to cross. I think Maxine's going to be good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just how can you make it better than what we've already gotten? I mean, oh my God, it's gonna be tough, but I'm hyped for it, man. I fucking love Ty West so much. Lighting Ghost, thank you for the $10. We appreciate it.
No doubt, dude.
Completely agree with all those points. Very, very good stuff there. Very good stuff. Very good. Villain Killing Dylan's throwing 5 in there. Dylan, thank you so much, sir. Saying Screams 3, 4, and 6 is their favorites. What's your top 3, Anthony?
Oh, it goes right in order. 1, 2, 3. And I know I like Scream 2 a lot more than I think a lot of other people do. I just remember it's weird. I grew up watching the sequels a lot more. Always Child's Play 2 over Child's Play. Always H2 over H1. And it was just like I don't know. And it's still weird because like I feel like Scream 2 and 3 have the most rewatchability. But every time you watch the first one, it's like you're watching it for the first time. So I guess I don't really want to like water that down. You know what I mean? So I tend not to watch it as much. But yeah, it just goes 1, 2, 3 probably. But again, I could switch 3 and 2 around. 3's good. I like 3. 3 is really good. I think it has the best rewatchability, honestly. So.
Hell yeah, man. They're fun. They're very fun movies. They're all of them I think are all very good, but hell yeah, Dylan. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I think like 1, 6, and 4 are probably my favorites in no particular order, but I just like 4 I grew up with, so it's really close to my heart. 1's a damn masterpiece, and 6 is fucking insane. So I got a lot of love for those movies. Those are the ones that are closest to my heart personally, but they're all good. I mean, I think every single one of them is fantastic. So Dylan, thank you for the $5. We appreciate it, sir. Hopefully you'll be at the bracket stream on Monday, by the way. So I'm gonna keep promoting that because I'm really excited for it. It's always fun, and it always gets hectic as hell. So make sure to stop on by. It's gonna be cool. Jason saying their top 3 is 1, 5, and 6. Very nice, very nice. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3. All right, Ty.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually had some coworkers, or a coworker, actually just watched the newest one, 6, when it came out to streaming, and then they went back and watched the original, asked them what they thought, blown away. And I'm like, man, that's so crazy that I can like literally talk to somebody that literally just watched the first one for the first time and just like be like, I loved it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Isn't
I think
that great?
it's kind of undeniable. Yeah, like that just shows you how great that movie honestly is. Like she was like, the reveal was crazy. She was like, I never would have guessed that there were 2 killers, and like, it's the greatness of Wes Craven, and also Kevin Williamson, easily my favorite writer. Just the dude, like I know I'll say it all the time. He like molded my fandom around horror. So.
Oh yeah, dude, and it's so easy to jump into a Kevin Williamson movie. Like they're very relatable. Like right off the bat, you're into it, and you just get sucked in. I love the way he writes. I recently read the original Scream script, and it's like so, like just reading it, I'm like, I want to watch this fucking movie. You know what I mean? Like just read. If your script is that intriguing, it's just it serves the movie you're making. To have that baseline be so firm instead of being like loose sand, like unfortunately many movies nowadays. But a lot of good stuff from Kevin for sure.
I think we are stepping back more into the originality though of films, and coming up with their own kind of ideas, which is nice. But again, I'll say with the remakes that we got in the 2000s, like my girlfriend and I, we just watched Last House on the Left. Holy shit, man. That remake was actually, I thought it was good. I thought it was dark. I thought it was like, there are elements where the dad is getting his ass kicked like the whole time in the third act. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, do you like, but again, we've talked about it, like how raw and real, Wes Craven was with those 2 original, Hills Have Eyes and, Last House on the Left. Like, dude, those movies are kind of hard to watch, man. Like,
yeah, man,
dude, just, yeah. So, but again, those remakes in the 2000s, very blessed that like grew up during that time to watch those. So
Wes Craven is the most versatile horror director in my opinion. Like, I mean, his range from range in tone across all of his movies is so different. Like he starts off with like the exploitation shock movies like that. If it's Hills Have Eyes, if it's Last House on the Left. But then in the 80s, he joins the slasher craze with like Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's like, it's kind of silly. It's like, what? Oh shit, okay. And then Scream is the kind of a similar vibe, but a little more 90s. I don't know. His body of work is one of the most fascinating of any horror directors I think ever.
Agreed. Yeah, I think Carpenter, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him, he's a little more commercialized, I guess I would say, with his works or his films. But yeah, Wes Craven has a lot of depth for sure. Crazy fact, actually, he did Swamp Thing back in the day, and they actually had him as a possible director to direct the 89 Batman. But then Tim Burton had just got done with Beetlejuice and did really well with that. And when it like pretty much just went box office heavy, then they were like, okay, Burton, here you go. Like, here's Batman. So yeah, that would have been crazy. Yeah. I heard Mike and Jay talking about it on one of their streams and stuff. And I'm like, damn, that would have been crazy.
Oh man, Wes Craven's Batman, that would have been fun. Yeah, that would have been nuts, man.
Yep.
Shit, I would have been about that, but Tim Burton did a really good job with those first 2 movies.
Hey man, dude, just Tim Burton's a really good director. Like Sleepy Hollow, dug that movie. Like, he has.
I watched Beetlejuice recently again. That one, it's really fun. It's a really fun, silly movie.
Michael Keaton is a legend, dude. Dude is a legend. Like, oh my god. And another thing I love about 89 Batman and 92 is that back before internet started, they were sending in written letters. We do not want Keaton to be Batman. We need somebody different. And then he just goes out and smashes the role. Might be one of the best Batmans of all time. Maybe even the best, like to some people. But I thought it was like so dope that he did that. Now he's coming back, to cameo in the new one. I think he's going to have a pretty big role in the new one, which is going to be dope. So,
so you're excited for The Flash, though? Okay,
now I was telling my girlfriend I watched Batman versus Superman last night. The CGI is getting, but again, I shouldn't hate on it because it is a product of its time. Like the one part in Scream 6 where the girl gets thrown off the ladder.
Yeah.
elements or references to Judgment Night. Anybody in the comments or in this, go watch that movie. I'm telling you right now, great thriller drama, 90s. It's really good. Anyways, so when she falls and hits the trash can, it has like that CGI like boom, and then she falls on the ground. I'm just like, I felt like they could have done that maybe differently. I was just like, okay, but
the close up on her face though is pretty
yeah, it
practical.
was crazy, great. But see, like it was like the fall. I guess I don't know. It again nitpicking, but hopefully it just doesn't get too CGI'd out. Because that's what I dug about like the Nolan trilogy and like the old school stuff was like, you know, the practical effects and like the movement and everything. It's like you got, you know, Ben Affleck, he's like the biggest Batman and all this stuff, but yet he moves around like he's the youngest one. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's all right. I think it's gonna be cool because the animated Flashpoint movie was epically good.
Yes.
And so I wonder if they're going to follow. Jason Carpenter, nice. Hell yeah. Cuba Gooding Jr., Emilio Estevez, Dennis Leary, let's go. Steven Dorff. Dude, that movie is epic.
I gotta watch that one.
Dude, I'm telling you, that movie is like, you ain't ready for it. It's so crazy, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Early 90s, like it's weird. Like I used to say like, oh, the early 90s is like one of the worst times for like horror movies, and it's like, no, actually it's not. Like the early 90s has a lot of really good stuff. There's a little more like hidden gems, you know, besides like Candyman and Silence of the Lambs. You also have movies like this, and then I don't know if you've ever seen like Habit before from 1995, but it's an excellent vampire movie in my opinion.
Habit, okay.
Nobody talks about it.
No, Habit.
Highly recommend. I think it's up there for one of my favorite 90s movies. I don't know where I'd put it, but it's up there somewhere. But the 90s, great time for horror, man. It doesn't, you know, we talk about the Scream ones and all that, but there's a lot of good stuff from the early 90s no one talks about.
Dude, I don't know if you consider it horror. 7 is epic, man. 7 is like a legendary film. Like I think that's why I liked the newest Batman the most, because dude, it was like a Conrad and I've talked about it. It's like a giallo film, man. It's like 7 meets Batman. He's a detective, like he's getting into that detective bag. I think that's why I liked it the best. It was just so good, man. Yeah, 7 is epic.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, 7 is god tier. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah, dude. I love that movie. The ending of that is just so fucking upsetting, and it's just so well written. I don't know. Yep. I've said this before on this page, but I love a good tragedy when you can write that well. And man, that one is it's up there. It's definitely one of my favorites from that time period for sure. And Army of Darkness, that's another good point from the 90s. These are all very popular movies though. You know, there's a lot of hidden gems that are like one-offs or whatever from the 90s though that are very good too, that like I said just don't get talked about. No, like Habit, man, I watched that on a whim and I'm like, oh fuck, this was really good. It's on Shudder if you're interested. I highly recommend it.
Shudder. Okay, nice.
But yeah, lots of good stuff, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we were again, like I said, very, very glad that I grew up in the 90s and stuff. Got introduced to, and I just feel like everybody kind of references the teeny bopper element of the late 90s when I'm just like, most 80s horror movies or slashers had teens in them. Like I don't quite get like we're considered the teen, like, you know what I mean, like era, like
it's a little more focused on the culture though, where I don't know if that's how it is in like Friday the 13th, if that makes sense.
I guess
you know what I mean.
True. Yeah, maybe because the actors and actresses were more like mainstream, big kind of. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess
we're like the Friday people. Like, yes, they are teenagers, but they're not like huge, you know, stars or anything, you know. But they are younger people, you know. It's more about like it's hard to say. It's more about the killer. It's more about the concept of what a slasher is. It's like this big, gigantic, hulking monster going after these like all nearly children kind of characters, and there's something very dark and entertaining about that. And I think when we move into the 90s, it's a little more about like, okay, we all understand the concept of a slasher, so we don't have to marvel in that anymore. It's more about like let's focus on the culture a little bit, but also still kill these characters that you can relate to.
That's true. Infinite Sky has a really good one. What would you go? Where would you go in that direction or with that question?
The Faculty versus Disturbing Behavior. Ooh. That's really tough. I really like both of these movies. Very similar movies too. I gotta go The Faculty though. I mean,
it's epic. Like it's Kevin Williamson. That's probably why I'm gonna give it the nod. Disturbing Behavior is very, very good though. Man, I love that film too.
That's an underrated one.
Oh yeah, it honestly is definitely good. I like the setting. You know, that East Coast like has like that. Jeez Louise, Carpenter's film.
The Fog.
The Fog. There we go.
Yeah,
the East Coast, fishing, kind of town or whatever. It just, I like that.
It definitely has a similar vibe to The Fog for sure. Disturbing Behavior is good, but yeah, I got to give it to The Faculty. Like you said, you got Kevin Williamson writing, and it feels like a fun Kevin Williamson movie with a pretty decent twist. Honestly, I don't hate it. It's maybe not my favorite like twist from him, but it's good, and it got me the first time I watched it.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch not the original, but the 79 Invasion of the Body Snatchers, has all those same elements. It was at our time, so it's like a lot of nostalgia there. Here's a good question. I don't know if he's asking which 1998 horror do you think was better. I think he was asking that question. Yeah, if you had to pick one year, what do you think was the best year of horror in maybe like the last 50 years?
In the last 50 years? Oh my God, that's so tough. Like 50 years, that's been the golden age pretty much, right? I mean, fuck.
Like, like just 1 year, I guess you would say.
I mean, like, an underrated choice is 2022 in a lot of ways. Like, I think 2022 fucking kicks ass. It's an easy, like, of all the years of horror, I think it's a top 10 for me personally. Like, we all want like 1978, killer year for horror. 1979, and even also a crazy year. The early 80s, I mean, like 1981 is one of the best years for horror without a doubt, if not the very best. Everybody talks about it.
Oh yeah, yep. I would have to go with 87. So 87, we had Dream Warriors. We had Lost Boys. We had Evil Dead 2. We had, oh man, I'm forgetting some. They're just like onto Hellraiser, the original Hellraiser. Yeah. 87 was epic, dude. Like, I'm telling you, there's probably some other ones that I'm forgetting, but to me, I was just like, damn, like this was a solid ass year. I mean, for horror films. I just feel like it doesn't get talked about a lot, but like 87 was a golden year of horror films.
That's a really good point too, because horror starts to get a little more goofy in the late 80s, especially in 87, but then you get that counteracted with movies like Hellraiser that are more straightforward horror, so there's a lot of diversity in the late 80s for sure, even if the popular thing was the goofier stuff. So that's a really good point there. I feel you on that. But I've always been a sucker for like early 80s. I think that's like typically my favorite stuff. It just feels so like we're uncovering new ground, and we don't know how to do this yet. So like there's so many different approaches to the same thing, and that's what I love about early 80s. It's like we're all kind of doing the same thing, but we're all giving it our own characteristic and flavor, and that's just so interesting to me. Nightmare comes out in 84, and then it's goofy for the rest of the 80s, which is great, don't get me wrong, but early 80s is like, once again, pioneering the what would make the 80s like what is considered the best time for horror ever. And I'm fascinated with that, I guess.
Dude, that is like the perfect answer. Like, honestly, the perfect answer. Like, you couldn't be more right. Like, honestly, yeah. Like, I think everybody, it was so fresh and so new, and everybody was like, well, we can kind of make some money doing this. So, yeah, you maybe had some not so good ones out there, but then you had some good originality, and then you're just like, oh, wow, these films are actually really good. And then they pioneered just everything down the road. So, yeah, totally agree.
But 87 is that's a really good answer too, because
I feel like I'm forgetting some monster films from that year. I feel like I named off like 4 big ones, but man, it was, I remember looking at it one time and I was just like, what in the heck? This was like epic.
I mean, I love to say I love to promote new horror all the time, but the 80s truly were just like a special time for movies in general.
Gosh, I literally forgot my favorite like action film. Predator came out that same year. I mean, dude,
shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that's scary, man. That's a scary fucking movie. That's got some crazy shit going on in it. Okay.
Oh, there's another one. I know you've seen Stage Fright, right?
Yes, Stage Fright. Oh, fuck. What? Yeah. I've definitely seen that movie. Stage Fright. Hang on. 2 seconds. I clicked on the wrong one. 1987 Stage Fright. I know I've seen this movie, but it's definitely been a while. Oh shit. Okay. I've seen this movie. It's been a long time though. A rehearsal for a play based on a real serial killer turns chaotic when the escaped felon comes for the curtain call. Shit. I gotta watch this again, but I do remember this.
Oh, dude, it's my favorite giallo. Like, it was actually the guy, the director was pretty much he was underneath Argento's wing pretty much, and then he kind of went off and did his own thing. So he was like his, so he came out with this film, and dude, dude, giallo films are so freaking cool, man. Like the way that they're shot, the color schemes, like everything, it's just like really cool, man. Like really cool.
You ever see Demons?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Those are good.
Those are good.
Really
I haven't seen this second one quite yet, but dude, Argento had just like this weird, fascination with like rock and roll of the 80s, but yet like, dude, even his 70s movies are so good.
Dude.
I actually just watched Tenebrae, maybe like, it was probably like the end of last year, but dude, like, that you want to talk about a Scooby-Doo film, like that's why I like giallos. Detective, Scooby-Doo, and like some of the reveals and surprise like reveals throughout the film are just so cool, man. Like I think those pioneered a lot more than I think people give them respect for, like, you know what I mean? Like yeah.
Italian horror is so important to where slashers are today too. Like, I mean, Scream 6 is heavily inspired by giallo movies, in my opinion.
And they even talk about it. Yeah, I love how they talk about it. They bring it up and everything, and I'm just like, man, that's so dope. Like, you don't hear a lot of films doing that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, man. Deep Red also is one of my favorite slashers, I think, ever. It's so different than anything you've ever seen. The music is so good, and the blood and the gore. Oh God, I mean, it's so well done, and it's so stylistic. I fucking love that. I gotta watch Tenebrae. I've never seen that one.
So good, dude. I'm telling you, you're gonna love that film. You're gonna be like, yeah, you're gonna like it, dude. It's so good.
Fuck yeah, dude. I watched Dark Glasses recently. That's like his newest movie.
Yeah, you have to read the subtitles. I know I'm a little bit lazy, but or did you not? Did you not have to, or did you? Yeah, right.
I read it. I read the subtitles.
Okay, so we started it out, and my girlfriend was like, I don't want to watch this or whatever, because I was like, yeah, this is going to be kind of hard to like read this the whole time. But I'm kind of like, I told myself, I was like, I got to watch this, some other time. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think it's on Shudder, right? Yeah, I think that's where we're watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I was really. It's not like his best movie by any means, but it's got some really good, cool, crazy shit going on in it that you'll probably appreciate. The main character is written very well, in my opinion. I really liked her arc. So, Doctor or DR is throwing $5 in there. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you. Saying 2 of the core 4 better die in the next Scream movie. Ooh, Anthony, what your thoughts?
It's not going to be Sam. I'm sorry. It's just not going to be her. And I don't expect it to be. Like, there's no way. I actually, man, her character has like really grown on me. I think she's done a really good job. I thought it was going to be Chad, honestly, but would it be Jenna to then close that arc? And then Sam goes on a killing spree because she's like, I'm pissed off that, my sister just died. I don't know. Well, maybe could happen. But then she'd probably blame herself and do all that stuff, which, I'm going to say that they're probably going to go there for the next one, probably, if they all do return. Yeah. I would say maybe 1 if Jenna doesn't return, though, probably.
It's kind of got to happen. You know,
Yeah.
I was talking about it earlier about how Scream has gotten a little too saturated, in my opinion. There's just so many characters. It's like, it wasn't even really all that mysterious in the last movie. There was 4 characters that could have been the Ghostface killer, and 3 of them ended up being the killers. So, I don't know. To me, I'm just like, dude, we got to kill some of the people who are just clearly not Ghostface. Like, they tried to make us think Kirby was Ghostface. I'm like, come on, man. They're not bringing her back to make her the killer and kill her, you know?
Well, yeah, like, okay, like, my bad. I was gonna say, take care, Sarah. Sorry, I saw she was saying that she was gonna skedaddle.
Peace out, Sarah. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate
No doubt.
you.
Later, Sarah. I mean, yeah, I didn't realize that Kirby was like only like 4'10" or 5 foot or like whatever. I guess I should have known that, but like maybe her being the you know, person, you know, coming up with, you know, in charge maybe would have been a good idea. Honestly, I thought that's where they were going. I was like, oh wow, she actually is going to be like the you know, the brains of the operation, but then it turned out that it wasn't, which again was another good reveal, you know what I mean? So I don't know, a lot of people just like said that they knew it was like the cop or the detective right off the bat when he was crying and stuff, and I'm like, God, now that you mentioned that, I'm like, how did I not see that? I don't know. But I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to say that they probably will. At least one if Jenna doesn't come back.
Yeah.
But I don't see that being Sam. There's just no way.
It's not going to be Sam, but
Yep.
it's not looking good for Tara, Mindy, or Chad. That's all I'm saying, you know?
Yep.
One of them has to die. You know, it's just got to happen. It would be shocking. I don't think 2 of them need to die, personally. I think do one big emotional death from the core 4 and, yeah, just actually kill that character. But then you can move on. You know what I mean? We don't have to. It doesn't have to be this dark killing spree. At least I don't think. But have that emotional death. Have that. We almost got robbed of that in the last film in a lot of ways. So I agree, Doctor. I agree. Dr. Doctor. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I appreciate you for the $5. Thank you.
And maybe they go the route of opening kill for the next film. One of them. Possibly.
Oh,
I think we all kind of thought that maybe it was
damn.
going to be Mindy, maybe possibly on the subway, but yeah.
Man, what a way to start off the movie, man. That would be so dark. Just like
Yeah.
core 4 gone like that. Fuck. Crazy. Hollywood Guy's also throwing $5 in there saying, were you guys a fan of Willard, the original version? Have you seen this movie, Anthony?
I have. I'm pretty sure I know what he's talking about. But I have not. I don't think so.
So I have not seen the original one, but I have seen the Crispin Glover one. It's like he's like with the rats and all that. I didn't even know this was a remake, honestly. But yeah, there's
Willard.
1971 Willard.
Oh, this is the dude from. Isn't this dude in Charlie's Angels, the newer one? Or the
Oh,
remake?
mate.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
maybe,
this
yeah.
guy was in the remake of the Charlie's Angels. He was like one of the bad guys.
Oh, cool. No way. Okay, sick, man. Sick.
I have not
Awesome.
seen this though. No.
The Crispin Glover one is pretty interesting. It's pretty gross. It's got a lot of rats in it, which, you know, I appreciate.
The last film that I saw with a bunch of rats was is it Night Shift with Brad Dourif?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking
that
about.
movie
Yeah.
is crazy cool, dude. Like it's different, but like I was
It's a monster movie, you know?
exactly, yeah.
yeah,
Dude, Brad
it's
Dourif
fun.
is excellent in everything, dude, man.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Man. He makes Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 for me, an underappreciated credit of his.
Yep.
No, I feel it, man. I love it. Yeah, no, I like the one that I've seen, Hollywood Guy, but I've yet to see the original. Once again, another movie that I think I need to put on my list. I didn't even know that was a remake. So we're all learning shit tonight. I love it. Willard 1971. I'm writing it down because I'm very curious.
I didn't
to see what
realize
they
it.
do.
71. Wow.
Yeah, real early, right? Like,
Oh, and
crazy,
its sequel, Ben, in 1972. Okay.
Willard and Ben. Hell yeah, man. Cool. This is a whole ass franchise. I guess I'm missing out on. Shit, this is crazy, man. Fuck. Hollywood Guy. I'll report back to you when I finally get to watch it. But
he looks pretty spooky in that. Nice.
hell yeah, man. Thank you so much for the $5, though. I really appreciate it. Well, Anthony, I'm going to be wrapping up here soon. And one other thing, I want to shout out my friend, the Nightwatch Zone, who has a big celebration stream tonight. Everyone after this stream, go over to his channel. Go check out that stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. I might be making an appearance as well, so check it out. Anthony, do you have anything going on crazy over on your channel? Anything you want to promote? Throw it out into the fucking space, man.
No, I appreciate it. Again, yeah, thank you for having me on. I very much appreciate it. I kind of was away a little bit beginning of the year and everything. Now that the summer is hitting and everything, going to try to set up some streams with some different people and stuff. I guess now you would say, since it's the summertime, I play a lot of video games. I play a lot of Madden, and it's kind of calmed down by now. So up until the new one comes out. So I really am. I made it actually a work goal that I was going to try to have so many subs by the end of the year. So got to start putting in some videos and got to start doing some. I think once I kind of get the layout of, just the routine of, making videos and stuff like that. I love to put my opinions out there and stuff like that, and just see how people, what people think, and mostly it is on a lot of this stuff that I grew up watching in the 90s and stuff. So yeah, definitely need to try to get that done. And but again, with the new Flashpoint movie coming out, we are going to try to do a stream, maybe a Batman stream sooner or later, probably in the next couple weeks. So yeah.
Very nice, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped for it. It's gonna be fun. I hope you like the movie. I hope it doesn't suck. I have my worries for it, so I hope it's good. I really do. I know Michael Keaton's gonna be good,
Yeah, and again, like, it's really hard for me to dislike a movie. Like, again, I hate bringing it up all the time. I just feel, even Ends. Like, I feel I still see good stuff in Ends. Like, it's not, I don't hate the film. Like, I know what, I don't specifically or personally know, but like, you have to respect these people that put their time and effort into these films and stuff like that. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. A lot of love and hard work went into that movie, despite how you may feel about it. I completely agree, for sure. But yes, fantastic stream as always, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you about horror movies. Go subscribe to Child of the Corn. Eat some corn. Watch his channel. It's a great combo. Just start nibbling on some corn. It'll be awesome. But Anthony, again, thank you so much for joining me, my friend, and thank you all for watching us ramble about horror movies. So, like I said, I'll be live on Monday again, doing a big old stream about boys. so check it out. Final Boys stream Monday at 7. So come hang out with Jake again over on Monday. Have a fun weekend, everyone. Have a fun Memorial Day weekend. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Wave at the camera, Anthony. Let's